Using a buyer's agent is about two things. The talent of the buyer's agent in terms of their investor eye looking at the property and their negotiating skills to get the best outcome. But the other critical component is the research. Now there's a lot of generic research out there that some buyer's agents hang their hats on. But here at Empower Wealth, we've developed an in-house classified research platform exclusively for our clients. And I wanted to give you an insider's look, a little sneak peek at the type of level of detail that we go to get the best outcome for our clients. So here, let's take a look now. Okay, so here we are on our exclusive, unique location analyzer software that we use in our business. Built in-house by our team of professional analysts and advisors to help our clients get the best outcome that they can. So I don't have a couple of hours to show you everything that this amazing tool does for us, but I just wanted to give you a sneak peek so you can understand why we are one of Australia's leading property investment planning firms and also buyers agency teams. So let's start by going into our roadmap research. What we have in here is a geospatial tool. Okay, so everything has been geospatially analysed. We can go down to suburbs. In fact, we can even go down to 160 properties if we wanted to, and I'll show you that a little bit later on in this demo. Right now we're sitting on auction historical data. So in this particular case we're looking at Melbourne, and I can bring up data dating back from 2009 to current data. In fact, I can change that data. If I want to say what's been the most active from September 2015, I might go back a little bit further than that, say from July to the current data, and the power of this tool allows me to even do it by number of bedrooms. So imagine if I went by 3-bedroom, and I can potentially go townhouses and villas. So not only can I just do houses and units, I can actually dig a little deeper in this data set where I can go down to that. So here we are, we're going to look at auction clearance rate, and if I just map that, it just comes up and shows me where all the activity is around those auction clearance rates. Now this is pretty cool stuff, because then I can look at the different areas. I can unclick and you can see here there's all of the sales for clearance rates for Hampton, so I can see what's been sold, private sale and the like. So extremely cool information that we're able to gather, so we can drill right down to the individual property, but we can also, we can sort by the number of sales that we've seen, we can sort by the number of auctions, we can sort by clearance rate, and you can see here it's done all the heavy work in terms of itemizing out the type of property. So very cool in terms of being able to do that. So that's the auction clearance rate data that we get, which is pretty active stuff. Now by clicking on this button here, I'm now taking it over to some of the more detailed aggregated data we've got. Tens of millions of data points set up in this particular software program. Now I'm looking at RP data. Our friends at CoreLogic RP data, we buy around 250,000 data points every month off them to have a look at the marketplace. And so I can track historical performance. I can move to any time period that I want to. So I'm going to have a look at, say, maybe the last, say 5 years, so 2009 to, well, we'll make it 10 years, 2010 to 2015. I'm going to look at houses. So let's go and have a look at this here. So by doing this, I can now click on this data set, and it's going to give me the color codes as to what's been happening from a growth point of view. So this is median price, okay, and you can see there where the heavy property valuations are. And again, I've got a scope to go out into Bendigo, Ballarat, anywhere down in through Geelong, down through the Mornington Peninsula, all around that area. And if I also want to unpack that, so I can have a look at Albert Park, and you can see how cool is this. I can, at a click of a button, I can look at data. I can see their rental income, the yield, the stock on market, the days on market, the affordability, the population base, the median age, and I can drill down to the next level, right down to basically 25 years of that data. Very, very powerful information. And again, information is power in the right hands. Also, you'll notice when I'm flying over these suburbs, it's giving me the borders of the suburb, and it's also, as you can see here over on this side, giving me median price, average growth rate, the 5-year growth rate, yields, income, affordability, days on market. And even better, check out how sexy this gets. I can click on a couple of these areas and I can analyse them in real time back to 1990 in terms of their performance. I can click off them to sort of work exactly what's been happening. So that is very powerful information. So I'm just unpacking that, and now I can also show this label here. Now what this is basically going to do is giving me the median house price of every one of those suburbs. So if I step out a fraction, this is a very, very powerful tool. I've just got to take my time with it. So I'm stepping out a little bit further and you can see all that data is now clustering. Check this out. I can see, you can't obviously see the numbers now, but just think about this, over 14,900 suburbs, I've got this information available to me. And then, as I go out into the neighbouring areas around Victoria, I can quickly see what's basically happening. Now I'm going to come back in, and then you can really sort of drill into sort of where the price points are around median values at that time. So we're coming in now into that particular data, and I can get really quite granular in terms of what that looks like. So I'm waiting for the program to catch up, and you can see as I'm drilling in, I can now start to see where exactly all of those values live in terms of the median price points, and I can do that across Australia, which is so cool. All right, so this is just a wrap up of what we call our roadmap data. Okay, so it gives us that sort of power to aggregate, look at some really detailed information. We can sort by region, sub-region, local government area, postcode or suburb, or distance from a particular point, such as the CBD, or even from a train station if we want to program it that way. So an incredibly sophisticated data set, and that's just one starting point in terms of what we're offering here. Okay, so we've had a look at the roadmap, which is giving us a lot of analysis around the types of property, number of bedrooms, in a suburb or local government area or state level. Now the heat map research is about trying to understand the level of market activity and the level of heat inside a market, irrespective, I suppose, of its borders. So let's go and have a look at this. And what we see in here, I'm just going to pick one of the hottest markets of the last 12 months. Let's go and have a look at Sydney. So here I'm clicking over to New South Wales, and you can see here I've got choices of data source. So I'm currently sticking with my auction clearance rates. I'm going to move this now to, say, 2014 September. So we're going to lock in that, and look how cool this is. I already know that in basically New South Wales, there's been 32,430 auctions, of which 26,703 properties have sold, and the median auction value has been $1,045,000. Now that's just a broad sum, and again, if I wanted to drill down into those suburb areas, I can simply click on that information and it unpacks all the sales that have been recorded for that particular area. So let's have a look at the heat in this particular market. So I'm going to pick houses for this example, and we're going to sort of show basically what's happening in terms of the heat in that Sydney market for that period of September 2014 to December 2015. And we can start to see, and again there's a lot of data crunching happening here, we can start to see, look, there's a really clear indication of that Western Sydney area going so well. You can also see in here the Great Surrey Hills area and the Paddington area also doing particularly well. Okay, so I move out, and the greater you move out, the sort of more heat you see. But when you get in close and you can see what's sort of happening in those areas, it's exceptionally cool. And then by clicking on this little beautiful little marker here, all of a sudden I'm going to now see all of the properties that we've recorded and seen registered. And if I want to drill down a little bit more, I'm going to drill in and pick a street and say, okay, let's have a look at this property. So Haberfield in October the 31st sold for 1.9 million through Rain and Horn. So I've got all of this ability to basically have a look at all these different sales that have been occurring. So that's the real heat, that's the real essence that's making up all of that other more broader median type data. So a very, very cool ability to sort of look at that heat, look where that market activity, and then drill down to the actual granular level. Again, which makes our tool so powerful in the insights that both, again, our property planners and also our buyers agents. And I reckon this is probably one of the reasons why, even though we're Melbourne based, so many people choose to work with us to buy their properties all around Australia, because we have such market leading data to allow us to find the best opportunities for our clients to get the best returns. So we'll go back into the landing page, and now I'm going to sort of talk to you more about the insight reports that we're also able to generate.